Hello students, this is Supriya Mogle, Assistant Professor at Center for Distance Education, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. I am here to discuss about Consumer Protection Act 1986. This is one part or this is the important law in the business laws. So in this video, we are going to learn what is Consumer Protection Act and what are the objective of this act, why this act was formed, then what are the rights of consumers or there is councils related with this, so etc., or penalties regarding this act. So everything about Consumer Protection Act we are going to learn in this video. So we'll start. First, we'll see the introduction. This law was enacted on 24th December 1986 to protect the interest of consumers in India. So this was, this act was to protect the interest of consumers in India. And Consumer Protection Act 1986 is a social welfare legislation which was enacted as a result of widespread consumer protection movement. So in short, this act was formed to protect the consumer or protect the interest of consumers. Then it was commenced on 24th December 1986. So applicability means where it is applicable. According to section 1 of this act, this law is applicable all over the India except state of Jammu and Kashmir. Means this law is not applicable for Jammu and Kashmir, but it applies for all over India, not Jammu and Kashmir. Objectives. So the first objective is to provide quick redressal to consumer grievances. So consumers are going to have some complaints about the goods or services. So this law was enacted to provide the quick redressal, means you are going to solve their problems, you are going to resolve their grievances by this act to protect the interest of the consumers against deficiency and defects. So deficiency is related with services, is the service is not proper or he is not having that good service or there is any problem in that service, so that is called deficiency. And defect is related with goods, means defective goods. We heard that point, means there is any fraud in the product or any defects are present in the product, so that is called defect. So if consumer is having some deficiencies or defects, then we are going to protect them by using this act. Third one is to secure the rights of the consumers against unfair trade practices. So there are so many unfair trade practices are there available in the market, and we have to secure the consumers against these unfair trade practices. Means there may be any fraud in the services or in the goods, or they are having some unfair practices in selling that product. So by this act we can secure the rights of the consumers. So these are the objective of this act. So next point is definition. So before starting this law you should know some definitions regarding it. First one is consumer. So who is consumer? The consumer who uses that product, who influences that product, or who purchases that product. He is the end user. Okay. Then complaint. Complaint Complainant means a person who is going to complain, means person can make complaint for deficiency in services and defects in goods. So he may be a consumer, or he or this one or more consumers, where there are numerous consumers having the same interest, and maybe state government or central government can also complain about something, so they are also a complainant. Then in case of death of consumer, then his legal hirer or the representative of that consumer is also a complainant. Then complaint. What is complaint? Complaint means any written allegation that a trader is, indulging in unfair or restrictive trade practices, or the goods purchased or to be purchased from, suffer from one or more defects, or the services hired from, they suffer some deficiency in the service. If the price is charged more than what is, legally fixed, or some hazardous product are being offered for sale, so these can be the types of complaints. Then consumer dispute. Now consumer dispute means a dispute where a person against whom a complaint has been made, he denies or he disputes the allegation contained in the complaint, and such allegations are like unfair trade practices. Means a complaint is caused against the unfair trade practices of a trader, as a result of which a complainant has suffered a loss or some damage. Then restrictive trade practices means trade practices which tends to bring about manipulation of price or its conditions of delivery, or affect a flow of supplier in the market relating to goods or services in such a manner so as to impose on the consumers unjustified cost or restrictions, and shall include, delay beyond the agreed, or any other related the trade practices. Then defects in good. So defects in good, defect means any fault or imperfection or shortcoming in the quality or quantity, purity, or some standard which is required to be maintained by the law, but it is not maintained. There is a fault. There is, imperfection in the goods. So that is called defects in goods. Then deficiency in services. So deficiency means any fault, any imperfection, shortcomings, or any inadequacy in the quality, in the manner of performance which is required to be maintained in the service. And the person, or he has to uh, undertaken to be performed by a person, and it is related with the service. Any service means a service of any description which is made available to the user, and it includes provisions of facilities like banking, finance, insurances, transport, processing, electricity, anything service. So if there is any shortcomings or any fault in that service, so that is called deficiency in service. Then manufacturer means a person who makes any goods or part of that, or uh, or a person who does not make or manufacture any goods, but he assembles the part. Okay, he made or he manufactured by others, or a person who puts or who causes to put his own work on any goods made or manufactured by any other manufacturer. Okay, that in simple words, a person who make the goods, he is a manufacturer. So the next part is rights of consumers. This is the main important point of this act. Rights of consumers. What are the rights of consumers? First is right to be educated. Now right to be educated means consumer is a right, he has right to have the knowledge, to have the skills regarding the customers. Means you know, what are the rights of the customers, what are the marketers doing in the market while selling the product, etc. Information should be given to the consumers. And what are the rights of the consumers, each should be educated, or each to be informed to the consumers. So it is the consumers right. Then right to hurt. Right to hurt means according to this act, the consumer has the right to represent him. Okay, means he has a right to complain about the goods or services. He has a right to complain when there are problems or when there are concerns related with the goods and services. Right to be protected. Now, right to be protected, it is also known as right to safety. So according to this right, the consumer have the right to be protected against the marketing of goods and services which are hazardous to life and property. For example, the manufacturing defects in medicines and other electronic appliances may cause damage to your life. Okay, so that is wrong. So consumer has a right to protect from that type of goods and services. So this right to safety protects the consumers from sale of such hazardous goods and service. Then right to be informed. So in this, the consumer has a right to get information about the product's quality, its quantity, its standard, or the price of the goods or services, so as to protect himself against the unfair practices. So one should not, the seller should not tell that I I will not tell about the quality or quantity. No, consumer has a right to be informed about the quantity, quality, or price. So the producer must supply all the relevant information at a suitable place to the consumers at any time. If he asks about the product or services, any information related to it, then producer or marketer has to give the information. Then right to access the variety. Right to access the variety, it is also known as right to choose. Means every consumer has a right to choose their desired goods or services. Means he can access various types of varieties. Okay, if we go to some shop and I want to purchase some jeans, okay, and the salesman is not showing the variety. So this is wrong, because I am a consumer and I have right to choose from the various types of options. I have to choose, I have to I have right to choose from the varieties of goods. So you cannot say that I will not show the variety. So that is wrong. As per the consumer rights, the producer or supplier or retailer should not force the consumers to buy a particular brand only. He should show various varieties, and consumer has a right to choose as per his demand and as per his desire. Then right to seek the redressal. So right to seek redressal means, if if he has some problem or he had some complaint, according to this right, the consumer has a right to get the compensation, or to seek the redressal against the unfair trade practices, okay, or any other exploitation. The right to redressal includes the compensation in the form of money or in the form of replacement of goods or repair of defects in the goods as per the satisfaction of the consumers. In short, if consumer has any complaint regarding any product, then producer has to give the compensation or the replacement to the product, or he should give the repair of that defective product. So consumer has a right to take that. So these are the rights of the consumers. Then next is consumer councils. So there are councils who are going to regulate and implement the act. And councils, these councils frame the rules and regulations related with the consumers and related with the consumer protection. So there are three councils: central, state and district, and we are going to study about this council. First is chairman. So in the central council, chairman is minister of central government. For state, minister of state government is a chairman, and for district, chairman is a collector. Then meetings, how many meetings they held for this act? So in the central, at least once in a year meeting is held, and in the state at least twice a year, and district also at least twice a year. So third one is members. How many members are there in each council? So in the central, maximum 150 members should be there. In the state, maximum 10 should be there, and in the district it is prescribed by the state government. So when you read this this information regarding consumer council, you will not understood when it is written in essay type. So I have formed this table so you can you can understand this better. So next is consumer redressal machineries. Machineries means, here the you should not take the meaning of that machineries. No, machineries means these are some committees who are going to redress or to the consumers who are having the problems, and you're going to establish or you're going to provide the quick redressal to the consumers grievances. So these are the committees, and it is also formed at three levels: central, state and district level. So we are going to have the difference between this. So first is preceding officer. In the central redressal machineries or committee, the presiding officer is a judge of Supreme Court in the central, and for the state, presiding officer is judge of High Court, and for district, judge of District Court. Tenure means his tenure means the person who is on the post of officer, what what is his tenure for working. So 5 years or 70 age, that is 70 years old, whichever is earlier. Means 5 years means 5 years of experience. Okay, so for example, one person is of for example 66 years old. Okay, and his tenure will be for, suppose I will calculate for 5 years, then 66 plus 5 is equal to 71. So 71 is more. Okay, so at the age of 70, okay, at the age of 70, this person is going to retire from this position. So that is called, or suppose one person is having 64 age, and he can work for up to 70 age, but it should be of 5 years. So he will work for 64 age, he will work for 65, 66, 67, 68 and 69. So 69, that means 5 years, whichever is earlier. So 5 years is earlier, so he will work for that only. Same like state, here the age is 67, and district, here age is 65. Then members in the central committee, at least 4 members are there, one should be woman, and state and district there are 2 members and one is woman compulsorily. Minimum age of the members, so minimum age all for all 35 year is the common age. Then monetary limit, monetary limit in the central, it should be more than 1 crore. For state it should be more than 20 lakh and less than 1 crore, and for district it is up to 20 lakhs. Then territorial limit means where you are going to redress that consumer's complaint. So for the central it is going to have within the country, state within the state, and district within the district. Now appeal. So what is appeal? Okay, suppose I have filed a case at district level and they have given their result, or they have given their decision regarding that complaint, and suppose I am not satisfied with that decision, then I can again file the case to the higher authority or higher court. That is called appeal. Means a person who is not satisfied with the decision of that court, he can again appeal to the next court. Okay, so you can come from this. At the district level it is the starting point, so here you cannot apply. If the district decision is not satisfied by the consumer, then he can appeal to the state government. Now state government, you have to appeal within 30 days, that is district to state. And again state government's decision is also not accepted by the consumer, he can appeal to the central government or central court, but it is also within the 30 days, that is state to central government. And here you can go further appeal. Okay, if you dissatisfy with central also, if you dissatisfy with national decision also, it will further appeal to the Supreme Court. Okay, so this is called appeal. Next is file a complaint. Consumer wants to file a complaint. Okay, so what are the procedure? First is filed within 2 years of buying a product or services. So the limit is within the 2 years you have to file a case or you have to file a complaint. Then it should be a written complaint, and it can be sent by registered post or by hand or by email or by fax. Then what complaint contains? What it contains? So it has name of the consumer, name of the marketer or seller, then address of the consumer, and copies of relevant documents, means some bills or anything regarding that service or goods. You should have some documents. Mention the details of the problem and demand of the company for the redressal. So in that complaint you should write what is the exact problem with the product or service. So you have to mention that in detail, and you are going to have demand of on the company for redressal. So demand like replacement of product, removal of defect, refund in that product or service, compensation, and if you have any physical torture or mental torture, you can also seek the redressal for that also. Okay, so next is you should preserve that bills or receipts or any proofs related to that product or services. It will be useful for the further procedures. But you should avoid voice messages or voice mails because, or telephone records, because it is difficult to prove in the court. Use any Indian language while writing the complaint, but English language is better. No compulsion to hire a lawyer, and maintain complete record of emails and documents sent or received. Means if you are sending some written complaint by post or by email, you should have that record with you, and if they have sent some mails or they have replied for that mails, that also you have to maintain. So this is the procedure for filing a complaint. Next is penalties. Now what type of penalties are there in against of this law? If a defaulter does not appear, defaulter means a marketer or a producer who has, you know, who has provided some unfair trade practices, or in his product deficiencies or defectiveness was present. So if he does not appear in the court after having the notices or reminders, court may decide a matter in this absence. So he can court, if he is not present in the court after giving the notices or reminders also, then court can have some action in his absence. And penalty will be the maximum 3 years of imprisonment and fine up to rupees 10,000. And forum can issue the warrants to produce the defaulters. He may use police or revenues department. Means if he is not appearing in the court, then the court can use some warrants to to be present him in the court, and he can use the police or revenue departments for which they can produce the defaulter in the court. So these are the penalties regarding it. So here I complete my video. I hope you understood the concept. I have explained in easy language. Okay, thank you.